They Major League Baseball does a commemorative to the September 11th, the attacks that happened. They always do, a memorial thing on that day. I actually have the lineup card, and in the back it says remember. So we also wear. They do a little American flag sticker that they put on our hat, and then we wear something on our jersey as well. But Major League Baseball definitely doesn't forget what happened on that day. I was drafted in 2002 by the Angels. I had Tommy John that year, so I didn't sign with them, and then came back after Tommy John my second year and was redrafted by the Padres in the 29th round, and didn't sign there either. I was also a draft and follow, and then I went on to play a third year because of my redshirt freshman year. I played a third year and then eventually signed to go to University of Kentucky. I turned that down and ended up going to play professionally. My injury occurred in 2009. I started feeling the effects early in the spring. I had something pop up and it just didn't feel right. I took a month off and I got a cortisone shot, and that kind of covered it up and allowed me to compete. But
did it fall?
So I then kept pitching because we were competing for a playoff spot, and eventually, my elbow just wouldn't allow for it to happen. I had some tenderness in my tricep, which kept pulling, and then and then finally my olecranon that rotates around the humerus, it just snapped, and I had there wasn't as much pain as you would think because I did have a lot of the anti-inflammatories in there. That kind of dulled the pain, but it was swelled up. My wife described it as it looked like a crescent roll on my elbow, but it's definitely something I'll never forget. I still have the plate and 9 screws in my elbow, which I bump on a hard surface from now and again. It doesn't feel very good, but yeah, it's still there, and I remember it like it was yesterday. The velocity program itself is designed to balance out the shoulder. So you might have strength and you don't have any arm speed, or you have arm speed and you don't have any strength. So it balances out the shoulder, which essentially takes off the pressure of the elbow. So having a stronger shoulder can actually help with elbow injuries and being able to take care of that. Myself, I had a huge increase in velocity. In consistent velocity. I'd been up to 94 one time early in my career. For the most part, I was 87 to 91, 92. And then when I did this program, I jumped up consistent 93, 94, 95, had some 97s, 98s. But for the most part, I had a spike in velocity. And just with the balance of the shoulder, it allows you the freedom to get to your gene pool and be able to basically let it go like you're capable of doing.
The Yankees. I mean, that
was my second appearance. 3 days after my debut, got in. I believe it was extra innings, and I come in. I get a couple of guys out. I hit Robinson Cano, and I end up getting out of the inning, with nothing. A guy made a great play in left field. Trayvon Robinson made a diving catch to end the inning, and then we come in, and I'm sitting there, and they told me I'm going back out for the next inning, and Luis Rodriguez gets up there, and I'm sitting there. I got my head down, and I remember talking to myself, saying, "Come on, Louis, get him." And I hear crack, and I'm like, no way, and it ended up getting out, and it was a pretty cool experience to celebrate my first win at home plate. We're all jumping up and down, and I got a picture of that at home. of that experience. So it's pretty cool to and for it to be a team like the Yankees just kind of makes it even cooler. And I had no idea at the time. I went out one inning, and I've seen guys do it before. I actually had a teammate strike out 5 in one inning in high school. So it's nothing uncommon that you see guys get on base after strikeouts. Well, I just had, I had pretty good stuff that day, and my splitter was on, and I got 4 strikeouts in the first inning, and then went back out in the second inning and got a ground out, strikeout, and then we ended up getting walk-off base hit again. So I got the win also in that game, and I go in to the dugout, and one of the players was like, "Oh, you set a major league record," and I'm like, "What, for wins in one game?" Or because I had no clue about the thing that I did, and they come and talk to me after the game, and I still, until they said it, I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." I mean, I'm just out there trying to get guys out, and in the fashion that I did it, just put me in a different category as other guys. The whole experience is it's really quick. For the first time, being able to go there the first time, people tell you about what's going on, but you really don't understand what's going on until you get there. And you have all these media things that you're obligated to do, and be here and there and there and there, and then finally, right before the game, all the media leaves. You're sitting in the clubhouse with all these other all-stars and guys who have been playing the game. Your Miguel Cabreras, your Prince Fielder, Torrey Hunter, Mariano Rivera, Max Scherzer. These guys who you see that are big names in the game, and you're sitting in the same clubhouse as these guys and knowing that you're there for a reason, and obviously you put up the numbers to get there. But for myself, I couldn't get there without the vote of the fans and everybody that was involved in that, so I couldn't thank them enough. But being there and the whole experience was really, really cool. It's something that happened, and it was, I wish it was longer, but it was a little shorter than I expected. But when it's done, I was so like, that was kind of a rush. But getting in the game, and once again, I just want to do my job and do it the best I can. And whoever I'm facing, they have to face me too. So, and I like to think I'm decent at what I do. So to get them out, that's my only goal, and for it to be a strikeout. That's just part of my game. Those things, you just get in there, and I was actually battling injury at the time, so my arm's not feeling the greatest. I didn't expect to get in the game because our starter was just cruising. They get me up, and I'm kind of confused on why I'm up in the first place, and I get loose, I get in the game, and then I just throw a bunch of strikes and they don't hit them. So, and it's not something that, obviously, if I could do that every time out, that'd be great, because that'd be less stress on me as far as pitches thrown. But that's what everybody strives for, is just perfection, and I was able to be really, really good that day as far as results go. I wouldn't say I had the best velocity that I've ever had. My location wasn't unbelievable, but it was just one of those days where they just swung and missed on I think one guy fouled a ball off, and the rest were either called strikes or swing and miss, and pretty cool experience. Again, I walked off the field and I actually put my glove over my face because I laughed. I was like, that was pretty silly. Those guys are pretty good. They've obviously done great things in their career, and I'm just tied to that that stat now as being one of those guys. Now, I think if I was to do it again, I might be the only one that would do it. So I guess there's something to shoot for. A few more innings pitched and a couple more strikeouts and a few more appearances. I didn't have that good of a year last year. I was battling some small type injuries, which were more maintenance involved, and so I've since cleaned those up and been able to get in the strengthening that I need to do. So I'm saying that my appearances and my results will be better than they were last season. I think that's a loaded question. that's a family question. You got to talk to her, see how she feels about it. Obviously, she's going to have access to a TV, so she'll be able to watch. Is it your first kid? Is it your fifth kid? Second kid? There's a lot of things that go into play there. Being there with his wife, obviously that might earn him some brownie points, but his job is to be. And that's what puts food on the table. So he's got to do what he does, and especially playing in that type of game. I'm assuming she'll give him a free pass on this one. If it was a regular season game, he better be there. But I think he might get a pass on this one. And that's if she was to have the baby on that day. Maybe she can hold out to the next day. I'm not a fan of either one. I'm a Colts fan. I'm not even going to bring up the football thing because I don't think it would have played any factor at all. They got beat by 40 points. So if I had to, I don't even want to say it. I don't want to pull for either team. I'll stick AFC. I'll go with the Patriots. I can't believe I'm saying that because I'm not a. They've done us wrong in the past, but I gotta stay with the Patriots for some reason. It pains me to say that.
I'm a Colts fan as well. I know how you feel. Okay, just one more quick question. On your Twitter, you're a Hulkamaniac. What's up with that? How far does that go back?
You're the first one that brought that up. Hulkamaniac. So I grew up watching wrestling, and just everything about the whole Terry Hogan. He's got the sweet Fu Manchu. He's got the I'm assuming it's bleached blonde hair. It hangs out the bottom of his little bandana, and ripping the shirt and just being a complete fool out there. It's just it's hilarious to be that guy, and it gets me fired. I watched Monday Night Raw the other day, and they had the Royal Rumble, and I got me fired up when The Rock came out. So. I enjoy wrestling. I used to watch it all the way, like I said, growing up. Jumping off the couch like it was the top rope, and we had a big bean bag, so that was our ring, and then giving someone the elbow, and then watching in high school, and The Rock was big, and Stone Cold was big, and so that stuff like that. Me and Hulk Hogan's one of the founding guys of all of wrestling. So to be the Hulk, one of the Hulkamaniacs, and the guys that followed him and what he did. He's one of the guys, the pioneers of the game, and it's silly to put that on there.
So can we expect your walkout song to be Real American?
That'd be funny playing it in Canada.
Hey.
I don't think so, but I don't know if Rick Derringer sang that song. So. Which was surprising to me until I actually got it out, and it's hilarious. That and Ultimate Warrior and that whole group, Andre the Giant, Jimmy Fly Snuka, and the whole group that was coming through. There's a whole bunch of history there, and just seeing it as I grow up and just being tied to it in some way is hilarious. I doubt I'm going to have the walkout song because I don't know how many people would care for that. But it's pretty funny.